Alright, hey guys, I'm back. My audio should be a lot better this session, and let's continue continue on, I suppose, with Lucy, the eternity that she wished for. And I just have to remember the voices I used. Alright. I think I got it. We'll see. I don't really know. Entering the living room, I spot a couple of plain sandwiches on the table. Grabbing one, I start munching down. It's always the same sandwich from the convenience store just across the street. While chewing, I glance around the living room. My father has already left for work. He always leaves early and returns late at night. Actually, he typically spends the night at work. I know that all too well anyway. That's how it is around here. I head back to my room. The android is waiting for me in the exact same spot. Looks like it hasn't budged an inch. As expected from a robot. Putting that aside, I start to prepare for school. While packing my bag, I start to wonder if the robot has any magical self-regenerating abilities. How do you feel now that you're fully charged? Are you able to walk? Its head slowly turns to face me.
下半身の関節部分に相当の負荷を感知。通常の任務を行うのは不可能と判断。よって修理を要求します。
Keep things simple, remember?
まだ歩けません。
That's nice. Not that she can't walk. The fact that it realizes to keep things simple. Never mind, son of a bitch. Still? Aren't you a real pain? Anyway, I understand. I'm not even gonna make the attempt to fix it myself. I'm way out of my depth here. I'll see what happens once I take it to the repair shop. Just about finished packing. Only thing left is the android itself. So, how am I gonna lug this thing? Place it in my backpack? Carry it on my back? I don't... how big is your backpack, man? Guess there's no other choice. I kneel down, facing away from the robot. Alright, hop onto my back. It tilts its head to the side, looking confused. After noticing that, I start to get a little irritated. Top of the line, yeah right. How am I supposed to explain every little thing? Or am I supposed to explain every little thing? Listen up. Put your arms around my neck and climb onto my back. Can you do that? It follows my instructions to the letter.
確認要請。この方法で合っていますか?
Stop! I surrender! The strangling grip loosens. I collapse to my knees in a coughing fit. I think I nearly blacked out there. You trying to murder me? There's no need to put that much force into it. Just do it enough not to fall off. Honest to God, I thought I was a goner. Thing's got a steel vice chokehold. This android should look to be a world wrestling champion. Okay, let's try that again. Second time's the charm. Rising off the floor, I brace myself for the extra weight. Huh? Lo and behold, it was deceptively light. I think I'm coming around to appreciating this first-class product. And liftoff. The weather's not too bad. The brisk autumn breeze is cool against my skin. I gladly inhale the crisp morning air, letting last night's stress melt away. The streets are still quiet, which is good. The less there are to see this, the better. Especially with what I'm lugging on my back. Let's see here. Where's the repair shop? If memory serves, it should be about 15 minutes away, which is a relief, as I'm not really what you'd call a fit guy. Not sure I can schlep this thing much longer. Is that how you say that? Anyway, and now this robot's fidgeting. Hold on tighter so you don't fall off. Feels like I'm scolding a child. Hey, stop moving around so much. I can feel the android through my clothes. Its texture feels surprisingly similar to a human's. I'd noticed it yesterday, yet it manages to surprise me again today. And that's not the only thing. It's warm to the touch. It feels as if I'm carrying an actual person. Probably just its heating system. That would explain it. Wow, it feels just like a real person. I muttered to myself absent-mindedly.
冷却器および温度計は正常に作動しています。
Say what?
人間の温度を目安に精密な発熱量の調節を繰り返し行っています。
You guys will see a cut there, by the way. I went and shut off my air conditioning unit because it is loud and you probably heard it in the background. So we're gonna not do that for a bit, at least while I record a game like this. But yeah, anyway, let's continue. The thermometer, huh? Interesting. Good to know. Motherboards and microprocessors consisting of various computer chips. There must be thousands of those inside a single android. The heat emanating from the machine, it's as warm as human skin. It feels just like us. But it's not a real person. Just an elaborate fake. Sometimes I fear what progress and technology would bring to the future. Do you know where we're headed? With a whir, the robot shakes its head sideways. We're going to a place that'll get you fixed up. When they begin the repairs, you need to be still and quiet, so they won't be distracted. Do you understand? Hey, I'm asking if you understood. Say something. Maybe it took my command literally. I just hope it got my message. Letting out a frustrated sigh, I resume walking. It'll be about time for my classmates to head in. I begin to hurry so as to avoid running into anyone that might recognize me. I arrive at the place in an aching and huffing mess. Sure has the look of a small antique shop. Though mostly dealing in secondhand goods, they do dabble in robot repairs. Or there's even a fixer who likes robots. And he's half decent. Normally, I wouldn't be caught in a place like this. But these are unusual circumstances. What? A customer already? Hold on a second. Talk about a grumpy demeanor. After a while, a man emerges from the back, scratching his head. Should I try and give this guy a voice? That'll be a pain in the ass. I'm not really good at doing voices. Good old T. And judging from that none too pleasant expression, I'm pretty sure the guy is not an early riser. Stifling a yawn as he asks. I'm trying to think of what I could do here. Nah, I'm not gonna bother. So, what can I do for you so early in the morning? Unable to move my arms, I gesture at the android draped over my back with my chin. Can you fix this? Is that an android? Wiping his tired eyes, he gazes intently at the robot. Let me see here. I don't think I've ever seen this model before. I spot a glint of curiosity in those sleepy, half-closed eyes of his. He walks over to take a closer look. Hello there. Well, I'm stumped. Can't make out the model. It's probably some obscure model from an unknown company, or it's never actually been released to the public. Where'd you get this, kid? Well, how should I play this? He might call the cops on me. Because what I did was clearly illegal. So, what should I say? Now, I have played this before. In terms of the first hour, I told you guys that in the first episode. And I told him the truth in that, so I'm going to continue telling him the truth. Or I'm going to do it again. I'm not making any different choices than I did last time. I found it in the junkyard. Junkyard? You don't mean that company's junkyard. Dusses his thumb over his shoulder. Not exactly sure where he's referring to, but I haven't seen any other junkyards around here, so... Yes, that's probably the one. You got some guts, kid. I hope you know how much the fines are. I know that anything in the world is free as long as you don't get caught. You're funny, kid. I like that. Well, I guess he's cool with it. Wait a minute, what's this? A nasty frown forms on his face. Something wrong? Yeah, you could say that. Suddenly he starts fussing like a little kid. What kind of sicko would do this? Just look at it. The whole frame's ruined. Won't even be able to move around properly on its own. He was right. Pretty savvy of him to point that out. I guess he's the real deal after all. So you think you can fix it? That's not the main issue here. There's something more important. And what's that? You have the resolve to take proper care of an android? The resolve? Where'd this come from? Listen, androids break easily. They're fragile. They're sensitive. They're delicate. Do you get what I'm saying here? He emphasizes his point 3 times. That's how passionate he was about it. I can see that he really loves his robots. But at the same time, he's starting to freak me out. He continues to rant. To a lot of people, androids are nothing but fancy toys nowadays. I mean, those kinds of folks pay for my food and bills. But whenever I hear about how they've been mistreating their androids, I tend to lose my temper. They don't understand how important these creatures really are to us. I unwittingly take a small step back. Creatures. This man just referred to androids as creatures. He's not right in the head. From time to time, there have been people who fall in love with androids. Not just carnal desire. I'm talking about people who are willing to spend the rest of their lives with the androids, treating them as equals. It's a controversial topic that's getting more discussion. It's an abnormality spawning from an advancing civilization with constant innovation and technology. As someone who's never seen it happen firsthand, I've always refused to believe it. I can't believe such people actually exist. An android simply lacks the intellect to be paired up with a human being. It's nothing but a glorified hunk of metal that can make our lives a bit easier. I'd rather spend my entire life with a monkey. At least monkeys are actual living creatures, and they share many similarities with humans. This is my first-hand experiencing such a case, and I feel more disappointed than shocked. He seemed perfectly normal. Guess you just can't judge a book by its cover. I'll get it fixed, but you better treat it right. Got it? Really? I'm not the one who banged it up in the first place. Even so, I don't feel like it's worth starting an argument over. Let's just get this over with. Crystal. Yeah! What a great kid. At least you listen when someone tells you something. Since we're all chummy now, how about lowering your price? Huh. Don't push your luck, kid. That was a full 180. So much for our budding friendship. You know what? Fine. Half price since you're my first customer of the day. I'm relieved to hear that. Any discounts are most certainly welcome. Great. Can you have it ready by the end of school? It's a pretty light day, so yeah, it's doable. I keep messing up the voices. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this up. It's also kind of hurting my throat, goddamn. Thankfully I made some tea. He punches some numbers into his calculator, and he shows me the results. I was planning on charging you only about this much, what do you think? I blank out for a bit. There are a lot of video games I've always wanted to buy. I also need to save up for new textbooks that I'll be using next year. This robot had better pay for itself. Fine, I'll pay you when I come back. Holding up my treasured pocket watch, I glance at the time. I wasted way too much time here. An outdated gear clocker in this day and age. I like it. Has a nostalgic charm. I'm well aware that these types of watches are hard to find, but more importantly, this is my personal way of rebelling against this continuously developing society. Hey, you piece of junk. Can't you hear me? No response. Finally decide to address it by its name. Lucy. The robot immediately reacts. What's with this thing? I'll be back after school. Behave yourself, alright? The android wobbles its head back and forth. I'm hoping it understood me. And with that, I leave the shop. I hightail it towards my high school. I'm in second year. While running, a movie I saw recently springs to mind. An old sci-fi flick set in the year 2050. I said the same thing when I first recorded this, 2550. Nope. All these oldies seem to be lacking in one thing, creativity. A few showcase large-scale space battles. Others would have flying vehicles soaring through the sky. Well, guess what? It's 2050. And we don't have moon-sized space or starships or flying cars zipping around. People still walk to school. People still drive normal vehicles. People still ride bicycles, I'll say it, whatever. And skateboards. Some people still use old fountain pens or pocket watches like me. But there exists a single piece of technology that's become more prominent in our lives. Androids. They're being used everywhere around the world. That's one thing these aged films got right. It does seem like the most logical and, what's the word, plausible thing, right? That they would be able to bring to life as androids. I mean, we've already got things working our way there anyway, at least this day and age, so whatever. The morning bell snaps me from my reverie, and I dash straight to my classroom. Please refrain from running in the hallways. Sorry, I had to. A janitor android scolds me as I rush past it. This type has facial recognition software to report any transgressor, like me, except I simply cover my face, and there's no record. You gotta know how to exploit the system. Safe. Bolstered by my recent victory, I strut towards my desk with a confident swagger. I notice that the teacher's not in yet. I plunk down in my seat while still huffing. That was pretty close. Gee, did you sleep in again? That concern-filled voice is coming from the guy sitting next to me. Clever-looking fellow. People usually refer to him by his nickname, Dr. Gears. That's because he's a real geek with a burning passion for robots. I, on the other hand, despise robots. And while I'd label myself as an introvert, he's very approachable and outgoing. Moreover, our tastes and hobbies differ quite a lot. You'd think we had nothing to do with each other. But, as they say, opposites attract. I know, weird, right? No, I just had some business to take care of. Really, this early in the morning? It's a long story. I'm cut short by a middle-aged man making his entry. Our teacher. A female assistant android trails behind. Let's talk about this later. I send him a signal. He returns a thumbs up. Lunchtime rolls by. I take out my freshly bought pieces of bread. Dr. Gears does likewise, with a very appealing lunchbox. 2 desks have been joined together. On mine, there are a couple of pieces of fried croquettes, I think, with a carton of chocolate milk. My friend, on the other hand, has quite a tasty spread on his, which he seems to be enjoying immensely. I've heard that his maid android makes it for him every morning, and the food doesn't look half bad. Then again, anything looks better to a poor schmuck like me who eats bread every day. Problem with your food, or... Never mind. Problem indeed. I bite down on the... however the fuck that's pronounced. Delicately piercing its cold and crispy warm surface, a savory scent wafts forth. The sweet flavor of the dough mingles with the tantalizing aroma, creating a heavenly mixture. But that's not all. The creme inside unleashes its softness as it slowly melts upon my tongue. For the vegetables in the mixture provide a strong, rich flavor. The eggs and mashed potatoes join in the fray by pleasantly blending in with the other ingredients. This refined taste, it must be. Had you going there, didn't I? Setting aside the sad excuse for a rubber substitute, I pose a question to Dr. Gears. By the way, didn't you once tell me that you have a lot of androids at home? Huh? Yeah, around 6, I think. That's a high number. Typical household can't afford that many. Rumors that Gears is from a well-to-do family. Why the sudden interest? It's nothing. Oh, wait a minute. He starts grinning like an idiot. Hey, your food's falling out of your mouth, you know. You've taken a liking to androids, haven't you? So you're calling off this little war of ours? More like a temporary truce. Good enough. Androids are simply amazing, you know? They're truly the greatest invention that science has delivered since the beginning of mankind. There are quite a few types. My favorite's the maid models. They take care of all the chores and really know how to cook. On top of that, the female ones are pretty cute. Sometimes I find myself admiring their beauty. You got one sick, twisted mind, Gears. Tisk, tisk. Don't you know that people can achieve inner peace with beauty? It's been proven by science, you know. I shake my head wearily. I do admire his enthusiasm over something so petty, though, really. Look, it's what's on the inside that counts. What are you talking about? Appearance don't matter. It's still a crummy, stupid robot. Here's an example, using people. So let's say there's a person with a pretty face, but he's a man. Does that fact that he's got a woman's face change anything? No, he's ultimately a man. Likewise, even if I see a beautiful android, since it's ultimately a robot, its aesthetics don't mean it, or don't matter anymore. It just becomes an illusion. What I'm trying to say is that even if a robot acts like a person, it's not. Therefore, all robots are the same to me, and I dislike them all. Oh, God, I don't know how I feel about my character, man. I don't know. Oh. I'm usually a pretty easygoing guy, so my character's a little stubborn in the wrong ways according to me, but whatever. I guess you still haven't changed your mind. But there has to be a reason why you brought it up, right? Normally you wouldn't ever talk about it. Well, yeah. If you're looking to buy one, I'm here for you, man. I'll make sure to fill you in on everything you need to know. I'm telling you, you'll be making the greatest purchase of your life. In response, I rub my cheeks in embarrassment. I'm not exactly looking to buy one. Could it be that you're worried about the price, my friend? Don't worry. I have some connections that'll let you have one dirt cheap. As long as I'm with you, there won't be any problems. No, it's not that. There's no need to buy one. Now, just what do you mean by that? Fidgeting awkwardly, I wonder if I should tell everything. Found one somewhere. Found what? An android. You found an android? Yeah. Where? At the junkyard. Holy, you lucky bastard. Is it something like an IDX 358? Or 455? What model is it? Something that starts with a P, I can't remember. Someone told me it's a pretty recent model, but I haven't seen anything impressive yet. Might as well give it some time though, it was free after all. Now you've made me curious. I'll be sure to pay you a visit soon. He pauses for a moment before continuing, as if he's trying to change the subject. Well, I'm certainly happy that you've taken an interest in androids, but... But what? But you should be careful. About what? You've seen them on TV, right? The people who are obsessed with androids? They say it gets really tough to deal with as time goes on. Robots are robots, humans are humans. You should never forget this boundary between them. Robots are mere tools designed to make our lives easier. Nothing more, nothing less. Me being struck by lightning is more likely. Fall in love with a robot? That's just crazy. I know, of course. I don't expect that to happen to you of all people. But you know, better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry. Alright already, I'll keep it in mind. He nods in response. Before I knew it, the day's last class finally came. At last, another monotonous day of school is coming to a close. But it feels like this lecture is lasting all eternity. It's like I'm stuck in molasses. The chalkboard is filled with scribbles that are barely decipherable, making it very hard to understand the lesson, which is painful enough already. Ugh. By the way, everything from this point on is new to me, so fantastic. On that note, actually, let's do a save. Boop. Yeah, perfect. I also have to crack my back because it fucking hurts. Oh my god. Oh. I gotta find a better setup for myself. Leaning forward like this is bad for your health. I can't take it anymore. The teacher is also awful explaining things. Its words go through one ear and right out the other. Unable to hold back the incoming fatigue, I let out a small yawn. Glancing around, it looks like no one's doing much better. All these mediocre teachers have one thing in common. Their teaching method is way too convoluted. A bunch of rotten snobs, that's what they are. And yet time marches on. The teacher's dreadful onslaught of words ultimately comes to an end. Watching a politician's speech is more riveting in comparison. All that's left now is to go home. Time to get out of this place. I pack my belongings hurriedly, waving goodbye to Dr. Gears as I start to head home. Don't forget about the android, me. Ah, tea. Yeah, there you go. On the way, I suddenly realized something. I nearly forgot about the android. And almost ended up heading straight home. I doubled back towards the repair shop. Arriving, I peeked through the windows. Place is not too busy, but no sign of the repairman. Wasting no more time, I head in.
Antique shop へようこそ。何かお探しですか?
As soon as I set my foot inside, I was immediately greeted by a female staff. The voice had a sweet, vibrant texture. It really caught me off guard. I'd never expected a girl to be manning the store. Guess she's a part-timer, or an android, you dumbass. I turn around to face the person calling out to me, and my jaw drops to the floor. You... Her face lights up when she finally recognizes me. Or... Oh my lord!
やっと来てくれたんですね、マスター。 首を長くして待っておりました。
Ooh, that was a sudden change.